Beautiful garments, furnishings, and so many products that we use in daily life employ silk as the chief material. It clearly indicates how important silk is to us. So in order to obtain large amounts of silk, we need to rear silkworms on a large scale that will help meet the heavy demand for silk. The practice of rearing or culturing silkworms to obtain silk is called sericulture. A lot of efforts are needed in sericulture. Let's have a look at the process by which silk is obtained. The female moth lays eggs, which are allowed to grow till the larval stage, which means the caterpillars or simply the silkworms will be obtained after the eggs hatch. These are provided with fresh mulberry leaves to eat and flourish. The larvae eat numerous leaves and keep developing into next instars. Then comes the stage where they are content with eating the mulberry leaves and are all set to enter the next phase. That is the pupal stage. Now the fully grown bulky larvae prepare a coat around their body to rest within. And how is this done? If we focus on just one single caterpillar, the silkworm, and observe it carefully, then we will notice that it moves in somewhat the shape of number 8. And while spinning its head in this 8-shaped figure, it secretes sticky saliva to form a coat around its body. This sticky saliva, when exposed to air, hardens and forms the thick covering that consists of these entangled hard fibers. This is the cocoon that we usually refer to. Now there are two ways of obtaining the silk threads. One is the violent method of directly adding the cocoons to boiling water, thus killing the organisms within. But why do we need to do this? Can't we wait for the adult moths to break open the cocoon and fly away? Well, that's the main point. If the moths are allowed to fly away, then the cocoons will break, which means that even the threads will break. Thus, in order to keep the threads intact and obtain long filaments, this method is employed by most industries. Second method that is carried out with a human touch is where the pupas are allowed to develop into moths and fly. This leaves the empty cocoons behind, which can then be processed further. Similarly, we can also opt for cutting the cocoons open and saving the pupa. It can then be allowed to develop outside the cocoon into a mature adult. Silk obtained from both these humane processes are collectively termed as peace silk or ahimsa silk. The name explains it all. Silk obtained in a peaceful manner. Whichever method is employed, the next important step is to obtain the silk fibers from these cocoons. So how is this done? Adding the cocoons to boiling water separates the threads easily. Another method is to expose the cocoons to steam or dry them in sunlight. This process of obtaining silk threads from the cocoons is called as reeling of silk. Nowadays, even machines are employed for this reeling process. Once the entangled threads are separated, they are processed further to form silk yarns. And what are yarns used for? Yes, yarns are used for weaving fabrics. The silk fabrics are employed for a variety of purposes. Attractive looks combined with high strength is what makes silk top the chart of fibers.